Hello everyone, this is Samanali and thank you for joining Chem Cafe.
All right, so we are doing February, March 2024, paper 2-2 for IGCSE, because this is the latest paper that we can attempt and have an idea about latest paper pattern and paper question types. Question number 1 is from kinetic particle theory. It asks you solid X is heated for 600 seconds. They have given X axis time from 0 till 600 seconds. And the graph is showing the heat curve that is obtained. We know that the heat curve is having two horizontal lines. One is its melting point and the second one is its boiling point. Let's say what they are asking for. What is the melting point of X? That means we have to find out the value over here. It's 100 and 200 and there are 10 lines in between. It means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It is 170 degrees centigrade. The answer should be D. Question number 2, which statement about diffusion are correct? Aqueous ions cannot diffuse. That is not true. All aqueous, solid, liquid, gas can diffuse. So it is not true. Diffusion is caused by the random movement of particles. That is a true statement. Particles spread out in all directions in diffusion. That is a true statement. Diffusion can only take place in solid and liquid. That's not true. It can occur in gases as well. That means statement number 2 and 3 are correct and we will select option C. All right, MCQ number 3, which statement about an atom of fluorine is correct? Fluorine 9 and 19 has been given. That means 19 proton number, 9 proton number, 10 is its neutron number. It contains on a total of 28 protons, neutrons, and electrons. 9 plus 10 plus 9 is becoming 28. So for me, the option A is correct, but let me check the other statements. It contains more protons than neutron. This is proton and this is neutron. No, that's not true. Its isotopes contain a different number of protons, and that is not shown. Actually, the information has not been given. Also, the protons cannot be different in an isotope, so that's not true. It includes its nucleus contains 9 neutron. No, it contains 10 neutron. That is also not true. So A was the correct statement. MCQ number 4. Two of the isotopes of calcium are represented as calcium 2040 and 2044. Which statement explains why these isotopes of calcium have identical chemical properties? Remember that we have identical chemical properties because number of electron in the last shell is always same. This could be the reason, and second reason could be electronic configuration. If the electronic configuration of both is same, that means they are the isotopes. So both isotopes have the same number of neutrons. No, isotopes always have different number of neutrons. Both isotopes have electronic configuration of 2, 8, 8, 2. Let me check. Calcium is 40, 20, so 8 and 8, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yes, that could be the correct statement for me. Both isotopes have a mass of 20, have a different mass. One is having 40 and one is having 44, so I cannot take it as the correct one. Both isotopes have 4 fully occupied electron shells. No, the fourth one is not filled. So B is the correct option for me. I have chosen. MCQ number 5, which statement describes a property of potassium iodide? Potassium iodide is an ionic compound. So if it is an ionic compound, it has to be insoluble. No, it is soluble in water. Is it a volatile substance? No, ionic compounds are not volatile. They have high melting points. So for D, I will go for it conducts electricity when molten. Yes, ionic compounds conduct electricity when they are in molten state. Now this MCQ looks difficult because the name written over here is unknown for you. They are saying methanol. You haven't heard of this functional group. This homologous series will be taught to you in A level. So it can be a difficult thing for you to identify, but the question is not that difficult, so you can easily solve. It says it has a boiling point of minus 19 degrees centigrade. That means it is either a liquid at room temperature or gas at room temperature. So at minus 20 degrees centigrade, the liquid methanol is a non-conductor of electricity. At -20, liquid methanol is non-conductor of electricity. That means, of course, the formula is also telling us it's a covalent compound. In a sample of methanol, each atom of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen has noble gas electronic configuration. We know that carbon, if it is carbon, it must have made up a sharing with oxygen on both sides, and then oxygen must be combined with hydrogen. That is how it is coming out as CH2O. No, two hydrogens are there and one oxygen is there. So it must be like, since carbon has to complete its 4 electrons, so it must have bonded with two electrons with hydrogen like this, and 2 left over must have been bonded with oxygen like this. So let me see what does it say. Has made an electronic configuration. Each atom has achieved this electronic configuration in one of the 3 ways. Either by gaining electron, this is not possible in a covalent compound. Losing electron, not possible. Sharing electron, this is going on. Okay. So what's the question? Which statement describes the bonding between carbon atom and the oxygen atom? Carbon and oxygen atom bonding has to be described in methanol. The carbon atom and the oxygen atom share 4 electrons. Carbon and oxygen share 4 electrons. That is a true statement. The carbon atom and the oxygen atom share 2 electrons. That's wrong. Carbon is a negative ion. There is no cation or anion formed because it is a covalent compound. Carbon is a positive ion. That's wrong. So I will go for option number A, where they have a sharing of electron, and between carbon and oxygen, there are 4 electrons that have been shared. How do I know this sharing? Just give you a little idea that oxygen will always go for 2 electrons sharing. Hydrogen will always go for 1 electron each. And carbon has to complete its 4 electron. That is why carbon will also donate 2 electron for sharing with oxygen. That is why they become 4 electrons. So you will have to think logically, even if you do not know the given compound, if you are not aware about the given compound, even then you know about the covalent bonding. So please refer to that. Do not worry about the new name and do not be scared by looking at an entirely new name and say that we cannot do that. It's not in the syllabus. The question was for bonding and was not for methanol. Okay, the structure of diamond and graphite are shown. Which statement about diamond and graphite is correct? Diamond and graphite contain strong covalent bonds. Okay, correct. Diamond and graphite have delocalized electron. Only graphite has it. Diamond and graphite have layered structure. Only graphite has it. Diamond and graphite have low melting points. No, both of them are giant covalent structure, so they have high melting points. Most of them are coming as A. Why? Okay, which row contains a description of metallic bonding and a property that is explained with reference metallic bonding? That means we are going to explain these statements given with reference to metallic bonding. So description of metallic bonding is a lattice of negative ion. No, it's a positive ion lattice. So I will cross these two. I'll go for these two. Let's say, what does it say about the property? A metal will react with an acid producing hydrogen. That is not with reference to the structure. A piece of metal can be molded into different shapes. That is with the reference of the metallic bonding. So yes, D should be the right answer. Although this statement is correct, beta, please remember, while you have been given question, read each and everything properly. It says with reference to metallic bonding. I could have by mistake selected the option C because both the statements for metal are correct. But why I did not go for it? Because this is not with the reference of the metallic bonding. Yes, Hassan, if you have any question, you can ask. What about delocalized electron? Yes, there is in a metal. What happens is there are delocalized electrons and positive ions, electrons and positive ion. This is what the bonding is called in metals. And since they are uniform layers, that's why they can slide over each other. You can mold them into different shapes. That is actually the bonding that makes them flexible for sliding. I hope you are clear about it. Let's move on to MCQ number 9. What is the relative molecular mass MR of sulfur dioxide? Sulfur dioxide, sulfur is 32. Since I remember that, I am doing it faster. You can do it from the periodic table. Go and check what is the mass of sulfur. Add oxygen's mass, 16 multiplied by 2. You will get the answer 64. I have learned that by heart, doing it for so many years. 10. Magnetite is an ore of iron which contains the iron 2 plus and iron 3 plus and O2 minus only. What is the formula of magnetite? Oh, that's a difficult question for you. I think my students will be stuck over here. Fe2 plus. Fe2 plus I find in none of the formula. Here if I calculate, I will get 2 minus. So iron will be giving me 1 plus. Here I will get 3 plus for iron. Here I will get 4 minus and 4 plus divided by 3. 4 divided by 3. So a very unusual answer, but not an average of 2 and 3. Here it is 8 minus, and if it is 8 plus divided by 3, 3 ones are 3, 3 twos are 6, 3 threes are 9. So that is between 2 point, the oxidation number on iron that will come here and here will be a decimal number. Okay. So if you divide, I'm just taking out the exact number, 4 divided by 3. If I take the oxidation number on iron is coming as 1.33. And if I calculate the oxidation number for Fe3O4 in iron, 8 divided by 3 will give me 2.66. Now this 2.66 is between 2 and 3, 2 plus and 3 plus. So it means this magnetite could be a compound which is in between the 2 plus and 3 plus, and that is why it's giving me this formula Fe3 plus, Fe3O4. And oxide everywhere is 2 minus only. That is why wherever I will calculate, I will keep oxygen 2 minus, and that will help me to calculate iron's oxidation number. So wherever I calculated iron as +1 here. I calculated iron 3 plus here with the help of oxygen keeping 2 minus. Here I calculated iron keeping 2 minus multiplied by 2. It became 4 minus. I wanted it 4 plus for 3 irons. So it came out as 1.33. And so for here iron is 2.66, which is in between 2 and 3. So I will choose D option over here. It was a difficult question, but if we have such questions, now you have got the idea how to do it. MCQ number 11. Concentrated aqueous sodium chloride and dilute sulfuric acid both are electrolyzed during inert electrodes. Using inert electrodes. Okay. Aqueous sodium chloride and dilute sulfuric acid. Which row identifies the product at cathode? For cathode, here we will have hydrogen. Here also we will have hydrogen. Sodium never goes. And here only one option. So let's look at the cathode aqueous sodium chloride. Cathode is hydrogen. Cathode is hydrogen. Dilute sulfuric acid, oxygen, hydrogen, oxygen, hydrogen. So hydrogen, both hydrogen is only option B. Electrolytes can be broken down by electrolysis. Which rows are correct for each electrolyte? Okay, so dilute aqueous potassium chloride. Aqueous dilute potassium will not go. Hydrogen will go at cathode. Chlorine will go at anode. No, chlorine will also not go at anode. Oxygen will go because it's dilute. So this is correct. This row is correct. Cathode is producing hydrogen. Anode is giving oxygen. The equation is also correct. I can see. For number 2, concentrated hydrochloric acid. Concentrated means we have chlorine going anode, hydrogen going cathode. Correct and correct. So 1 and 2 both are correct. Molten aluminium oxide. That means aluminium and oxygen, but aluminium has to be here and oxygen has to be here. So that is wrong. Concentrated aqueous sodium bromide. Sodium can never go if it is aqueous. So it has to be hydrogen. This is wrong. This is correct. That means only 1 and 2 are giving me the right answer. Okay, MCQ number 13, which is statement about hydrogen oxygen fuel cell is correct. Hydrogen oxygen fuel cell is using hydrogen and oxygen as gas and producing water as a product, liquid, not water vapor, but water as a liquid. Okay, so let's see. Hydrogen is extracted from clean dry air. Clean dry air does not have hydrogen enough to be extracted. Very low percentage of hydrogen is there, so we can't get it from there. It is obtained rather from cracking. Hydrogen's source is cracking. The only product is carbon dioxide. There is no carbon dioxide as a product. The reaction is endothermic. No, it is hydrogen fuel cell. It means it is providing us with energy. It is an exothermic reaction. No toxic gases are produced. Yes. No carbon dioxide, no carbon monoxide, no greenhouse gases, nothing. So D option should be correct. Number 14. Says which statement defines the activation energy for a reaction. Okay. It is the minimum energy, okay, that colliding particles must have to react. It seems correct to me, but I will go for better one. I'll check others as well. It is the minimum energy that endothermic reactions take in. Not only endothermic, there is exothermic reaction also which takes it in. So it is the maximum energy that exothermic transfers to the surrounding. No, that is delta H. It is the minimum energy released. No, not released. Activation energy is always absorbed. So all three of them incorrect. A was fine. Number 15. The equation for complete combustion of ethane. Ethane, again, not in your syllabus, but they have given you the structural formula of all. C triple bond C with H, and they have given the equation where it is combusting with oxygen, forming carbon dioxide and water. All structures have been given. The bond energies are listed. You just have to calculate the enthalpy change and find your answer from here. This question always takes longer, so I will do it. I will try to do it quickly. We have one C triple bond C, one C triple bond C, plus we have, sorry, 2 says that there are 2 C triple C and 2 multiplied by CH. 2, 1 CH here, 1 CH here, but these are 2 times. That means 4 CH bonds are there. Plus 5 times OO. 5 times OO bond. So this is my energy in. Let me calculate this quickly. 837 multiplied by 2 plus 4 multiplied by CH, 415, plus 5 multiplied by 498. So this is my energy in, and if I total them all, it gives me 5824. Now let's calculate energy out. That says there are 4 times CO, 2 times COO bond, C double bond, O bond is there, and that is to be multiplied by 4. That means 8 times C double bond O plus OH, OH, 2 twos are 4, OH bonds are there. So 8 multiplied by 805 plus 4 multiplied by 4. 4 multiplied by 464 gives me 1856 here. And 805 multiplied by 8 gives me 6440. And when I add them together, 8296. Now question is how to calculate delta H. Delta H is equal to energy in minus energy out. So your in was here 5824 minus your out is 8296. That is giving me a clear idea. My in energy is smaller. That means my answer is going to be negative. 5824. The answer I'm getting is 2472 of minus, which is A. This takes time, but then there are some other MCQs which do not take a longer time. That's why you can compensate this time. Okay, MCQ number 16. In experiment number 1, small lumps of limestone are added to dilute ethanoic acid at 40 degrees centigrade. The temperature is 40, acid is dilute, small lumps are there. Okay, this is for experiment number 1. The volume of carbon dioxide release is measured at regular time intervals. A graph of result is shown. This is now experiment number 2, where you can see same volume has been produced. That means the quantities are not changed. Which change gives the result shown? Only speed has been decreased. That means it could be decrease in temperature. It could be a larger lump. Since we have to discuss about temperature and size of the limestone, so limestone must be larger and temperature should be smaller, but it's not giving me a smaller option. So I can stick to the same temperature, 40 degree with a large lump, because this will also give me a lesser speed than experiment number 1. So I will go for option number A. Again, I'm surprised most of the answers are A. I hope I'm not making an error in finding the answers. In the Haber process, nitrogen and hydrogen are reacted to make ammonia. Okay, we know this equation very well. The forward reaction is exothermic. We already know that by the theory. Which condition produces maximum yield of ammonia? We want more ammonia to be made, and they have given temperature and pressure effects. We know if we want more yield of ammonia, less temperature will help because it is an exothermic reaction for ammonia formation, and high pressure will help. So just find how high pressure and low temperature, that is giving me B. Number 18, the Ostwald process is used to make nitric acid. We don't know how it is made, but they have given everything written over here. The conditions used in this process is catalyst, which has a transition element, a pressure of 10 atmosphere and a temperature of 800 degrees centigrade. Which of these conditions are also used in the contact process? We do not use this much pressure and this much temperature in contact. We only use one. Our catalyst V2O5, vanadium 5 oxide we use. So I would go for B. Only condition 1 is used in contact process. Hydrogen iodide is dissolved in water, and equation has been given for its ionization. Single arrow, that means strong ionization. Which row describes the final color seen when the solution is tested with damp litmus paper and with acidified aqueous potassium manganate 7? Okay, so since it's giving H plus ion, we know it must be acidic. H plus ion, it is ionizing and giving H plus ion, so it is acidic. If you will add damp blue litmus paper, it has to turn red. Any one of them should be the answer. And if I add acidified potassium manganate 7, which is an oxidizing agent, which means if it will oxidize hydrogen iodide, HI will be dealt with KMnO4. So what will happen? It will oxidize HI, and I minus, which is here, I minus will turn into iodine. 0. Oxidation will take place. Iodine will form, which is brown in color. So it has to be C for me. Why not colorless? Because iodide ion has oxidized to iodine by the help of oxidizing agent. So that's why C. Which statement about aqueous ethanoic acid are correct? Aqueous ethanoic acid, weak acid we have It can be produced by oxidizing ethanol with potassium iodide. Ethanol oxidized with potassium iodide. Why would it produce a carboxylic acid? There is no reaction we have seen with potassium iodide. I'm sorry, we have seen alcohol can be oxidized to carboxylic acids. Alcohol are oxidized to carboxylic acid. Oxidation takes place. But it happens with the help of either potassium manganate 7, which is an oxidizing agent, or by K2Cr2O7, which is an oxidizing agent. Potassium iodide is not oxidizing agent. So it can be oxidized, but not by potassium iodide. That's a wrong option. It reacts with magnesium to produce hydrogen gas. Yes, ethanoic acid is an acid. It will react with magnesium to produce salt and hydrogen gas. I will go for this. It has an appropriate pH between 3. It's a weak acid, so okay, 3 pH can be accepted for this. It produces ester called methanoids. Ethanoic acid cannot produce methanoid, it will produce ethanoid. So 2 and 3 can be taken as the C should be the right option for me. Okay, now 21. Which element forms an acidic oxide? We know that non-metals produce acidic oxide. Calcium metal, lithium metal, magnesium metal, sulfur is a non-metal. So you see, such kind of question are saving a lot of time. We know non-metal produce acidic oxide. D is the right answer. We can reach directly to it. MCQ number 22. Which statement describes the properties of hydrochloric acid? Hydrochloric acid is a strong acid. So we have to look at the statements. Carbon dioxide is produced when limestone reacts with hydrochloric acid. Yes, because limestone is calcium carbonate. Metal carbonates react with acid, produce carbon dioxide. Hydrogen is produced when sodium hydroxide reacts with hydrochloric acid. No, it produces salt and water. Methyl orange turns yellow. No, it turns red in acid. Red litmus paper turns blue. No, acid turn only red. Blue is not the color of acid. So A, I will go for. Elements P and MCQ number 23, elements P and Q have the same number of electron shells. Okay, so they belong to the same period. An atom of Q has more electrons in its outer shell electron than an atom of P. So if they belong to, let's say, second period, if I am saying that P is this and Q is this, an atom of Q has more electrons. It has more electrons. Let's say it belongs to fifth group and it belongs to fourth group. I'm just assuming that. So they are saying which statements are correct. P and Q are in the same group. They are not in the same group, but they are in the same period because they have same number of shells. So this, though, I can just filter it out quickly. P has a greater tendency to form positive ion than Q. Since P is on left hand side and it has less number of electron, it can form positive ion with more tendency than Q. It can be, yes, it can be assumed in this case. And the oxide of Q is more basic than oxide of P. The oxide of Q would be a non-metal. I will not go for it. I can go for this. I will not go for it because non-metallic character increases when you go right towards the period. Non-metallic character, non-metals make acidic oxide, not basic oxide. So 2 and 3 again, C would be the right option. MCQ number 24. Which substances react with dilute sulfuric acid to form a salt that can be removed from the resulting mixture by filtration? That means sulfuric acid must be reacting with any one of them to produce an insoluble salt. And I know sulfates of barium, calcium, these are insoluble. So aqueous barium chloride, it could be my option because barium chloride, when it will react with H2SO4, there is an option that barium sulfate, aqueous solid is formed that can be removed by filtration. Sodium hydroxide will make a soluble solution. Copper will not react with dilute acid. Copper 2 carbonate will make copper sulfate, that is a soluble salt. So A. So many A's, I am telling you this time. 25. Astatine is below iodine in group 7 in the periodic table. Okay, that we know. Which row describes the property of astatine? Astatine is below iodine. It means it is a solid. So any C of D I can go for. Then it says displaces iodine. Iodine is here. Astatine is below. So astatine cannot displace iodine. So I just reject this. We'll go for D because it says does not displace chlorine, bromine, and iodine. Yes, it cannot because it's the least reactive of all. Okay, MCQ number 26. Which property of copper explains why it is classified as a transition metal? Copper can be bent into different shapes. That is with all the metals, not only transition metal. Copper forms Cu2 plus Cu1. Yes, that is the property of transition metal, that they have variable oxidation numbers. Copper is a good conductor. All metals are. Copper has a low density. No, copper is a transition metal, so it has high density. So B should be the right answer. Brass is an alloy that is formed by copper and zinc. Which statement is correct? Brass, copper, and zinc all conduct electricity. Yes, they all conduct electricity. Brass is a compound. No, it's not compound. It's a mixture because it's an alloy. So no, it's not. Brass is harder than zinc. Yes, it increases its hardness when we make an alloy. It gets more harder, less malleable. So see. The equation for the reaction of metal M with sulfuric acid, aqueous zinc sulfate is shown. Which statement explains why metal M reacts with aqueous zinc sulfate? M, if it is reacting, so M must be more reactive than zinc. That is why it has displaced. I have just assumed it. Let's see what does it ask for in the statements. Zinc is less reactive than M. Yes, zinc is less reactive than M. I agree. Because M is able to accept electron from zinc ions. No, that's not true. Actually, M is able to lose electron quicker than zinc. That is why zinc is less reactive. So this explanation is not correct. Zinc is more powerful reducing agent than M. If zinc is reducing agent, so what is reduced? Reduced is zinc. Zinc is reduced. It means zinc over here is acting as an oxidizing agent. It's not reducing agent. M is reducing agent, which is reducing zinc from 2 plus to 0. Zinc here is 2 plus, zinc here is 0. So M is reducing agent, zinc is not reducing agent. Zinc is more reactive. No, we have concluded that zinc is less reactive. Zinc ions can remove electrons from M. Zinc ions can remove electron from M. Okay, so here I can go for this option. If I just explain you the phenomena, what is happening? Zinc was having 2 plus charge, M was 0. M had given these 2 electrons which zinc had given to sulfate to make a compound. M says take these 2 electrons and go become zinc again. So basically zinc ion has taken electrons from M to become zinc itself, whereas M, after giving its electron, M becomes M2 here in this compound, MSO4. So yes, I will go for D. The class will disconnect and you will join from the same link. MCQ number 29, in the blast furnace, the impurity silicon 4 oxide is removed by formation of slag. SiO2 becomes slag, CaSiO3. Which equation represents the formation? We know this is the equation. Just find out this equation over here. Okay, it's not here. Which equation represents the formation of substance which react with silicon oxide to form slag? They are saying which substance is being formed in these equations that has reacted with silicon dioxide to form calcium silicate. That means you have to find an equation for the formation of calcium oxide. Calcium oxide has been formed here. No any other equation is showing calcium oxide formation. MCQ number 30. Aluminium is extracted from bauxite by electrolysis. Which statement is correct? Aluminium ions are oxidized? No, they are reduced. Al3 plus turns into aluminium metal. So they are reduced. The cathode has to be replaced regularly because it reacts with oxygen. Anodes are replaced regularly. Cathodes are not replaced. Carbon dioxide is produced at the anode. Carbon dioxide is produced at the anode. Yes, because when oxygen goes to anode, graphite electrode, which is made up of carbon, reacts with it to form carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. Cryolite is added to remove impurities. No, it is added to increase the melting, to decrease the melting point and to increase the conductivity of the solution. So C should be the right one. Aluminium is reduced, not oxidized. The cathode is not replaced. Anode is replaced. Cryolite is not added to remove impurities, rather to reduce melting point. So carbon dioxide is produced at anode, not directly. Oxygen is produced at electrode, which reacts with carbon electrode to produce carbon dioxide. Now 31, iron rusts, but aluminium does not easily corrode. I haven't seen any single question from moles. Iron rusts, but aluminium does not easily corrode. Which statement explains why aluminium does not easily corrode? Okay. It is an alloy. This should not be the justification. Even if they are alloy, they can be corroded because metals are still there. B, it is below iron in the reactivity series. Aluminium is above carbon, and then iron goes before that. Aluminium is above iron. So this is not the statement. It says iron rusts, but aluminium does not, although aluminium is more reactive. Is it because it's a transition element? Aluminium, it's not a transition element. Its surface is protected by an oxide layer. Yes, this is what happens. Aluminium and iron, when they rust, aluminium forms a protective layer which does not allow further oxygen to let in, whereas iron keeps on rusting and finally it flakes off. Its whole piece of iron destroys and it becomes flaky, becomes powder after some time. So D. Which chemicals can be used as a fertilizer to provide the three elements needed for improved plant growth? NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. These are the three elements we need as a fertilizers in fertilizers. So we will look for those combinations where I have all three elements. Here I don't see phosphorus. Here I see nitrogen, I see phosphorus, and I see potassium. So I can go for B. Let me check for C as well. Here I don't see potassium. Here again, I don't see phosphorus. So 32 answer should be B. MCQ number 33. What is the color change when water is added to anhydrous cobalt 2 chloride? Cobalt 2 chloride, just learn that. Blue to pink in the presence of water. Blue is anhydrous, pink is hydrated. Blue to pink. I'll go for 33B. 34. How do carbon dioxide and methane cause global warming? Carbon dioxide and methane both are greenhouse gases. So when they increase in the atmosphere, they cause global warming. But how are they doing it? They emit the thermal energy that they have absorbed back to the earth. You know what they are doing? These gases are absorbing the heat energy coming from sun, okay? And they are not letting it go to the environment. But when they start emitting it back to the earth, which was absorbed, then the temperature of the globe rises. This should be the right answer for me, but I will still go for more options. They absorb the radiation directly from sun. But what is to do with global warming here? Yes, they absorb radiation. This is true statement. But what is to do with global warming? They increase thermal energy lost to space. Not to space, but to earth. So that is wrong with this statement. They reduce reflection of thermal energy from earth's surface. they increase that reflection. Actually, the temperature they have absorbed, they reflect it back or they emit it back. Okay, 35. We have selected the answer, right? Yes. Number 35, 4 statements about photosynthesis are listed. Chlorophyll is required for photosynthesis? Yes, it is required. The equation for photosynthesis, glucose plus oxygen forms carbon dioxide and water. Yes, this is the equation for photosynthesis as far as I know. Then photosynthesis requires energy from light. Photosynthesis requires energy from light. This is also correct. It means I'm making some error somewhere. Photosynthesis releases carbon dioxide. Yes, which can lead to the climate change. But about photosynthesis, we have to find this statement. Statement number 1, chlorophyll is required. That is true. The equation for photosynthesis is this. C6H12O66O2 plus 6C. This is also correct for me. Photosynthesis requires energy from light. Yes, that is also true. And photosynthesis releases carbon dioxide, which leads to climate change. Oh, this is a respiration equation. That is not the equation for photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the opposite to that. And so this statement is also wrong. It does not release carbon dioxide. It releases oxygen and glucose in the plant body. It provides glucose and oxygen is provided. So the equation for photosynthesis is carbon dioxide and water. So this is basically the equation. Statement 2 and 4 should not be accepted. So I'll go for 1. Statement 1 and 3 are correct. MCQ number 36. Which molecules are structural isomers? Okay. 1 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons are there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. C6H12. Now I will see how many carbons are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. C5. So these two are not structural isomers. Okay. Now 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, this is not the isomer of 1, but these two can be the isomers. Let me count all the hydrogens. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, C5H10. Here I have 3, 3, 3, 9, 10, 11, 12, C5H12. So that means 2 and 3 are not the isomer. 1 can be the isomer for 4. Let's check it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, C5 and C6, sorry, C6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, C6H12. So 1 and 4 are the isomer. But it's not given over here. Have I not counted them properly? One, two, three, four, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, okay. This was C5H12. This is C6H12. This is C5H10. So 1 and 3 are the isomers. B. This was C5. I counted it as 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. All right, MCQ number 37, which is statement about reaction of ethene with steam are correct. Ethene and steam react to produce ethanol. Ethene will add steam and will produce ethanol. Let's see what does it say. The product has a higher molecular mass than ethane. Is C2H6. Product is C2H5OH. We can see that there is 1 oxygen extra. So that should be the true statement. The product reacts with aqueous bromine. The product, alcohol, does not react with aqueous bromine. This is wrong statement. The number of electrons shared between carbon atoms decrease. The number of electrons shared between carbon atoms. Earlier, it was C2H6, C2H6.
ये डिफरेंस
Now it is C2H.
टाइम टेबल पे उन्होंने टाइम 12 से 1 लिखा हुआ है,
Yusuf, you
क्लास
are
शुरू उन्होंने
unmute.
12
Yusuf, you are on mute.
1 मिनट किस टाइम पे उन्होंने लिंक भेजा है।
All right, so we were talking about the statement number 3. The number of electrons shared between carbon atom decrease. Carbon atom number of electrons, if I see, they were sharing before 2 electrons. Here again, they are sharing 2 electrons. So I don't see there is a decrease in carbon atoms, shared electrons, number of electrons shared between carbon atoms. The reaction produces an alcohol and hydrogen. Alcohol is produced, but hydrogen is not produced. So this is a wrong statement. I'm confused for statement number 3. Let me just draw the structure properly to see what they are trying to say. They are saying the number of electrons shared between carbon atoms. So this was your structure between carbon and carbon, hydrogen, 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 hydrogen. So carbon and carbon was sharing one electron in, oh, that was ethene. That was not ethane. That was ethene. So it was C2H4. Yes, before carbon and carbon were sharing double bond. So 2 carbons were having 4 electrons shared like this. It was ethene that was the reactant. They are not talking about ethane, they are talking about ethene. And in alcohol, if you see, it is making a single bond between 5 hydrogen and then OH. So 1, 2, there are only 2 electrons shared. Yes, carbon number has decreased here. So 1 and 3 should be the correct statement. MCQ number 38. Methane and chlorine to form chloromethane. I will quickly write this equation because alkanes undergo substitution and this reaction occurs. Which row describes the necessary reaction conditions and type of reaction? This is substitution. We need sunlight, that is ultraviolet light, and type of reaction is substitution reaction. I'll quickly go for option A. Nickel not used. Ultraviolet could be the option, but it's not addition reaction. It's a substitution reaction. MCQ number 39, parts of structure of 2 different polymers, X and Y, are shown. I can see it is polyamide. It is also polyamide. So what's their concern? Which row about the monomers and linkages between monomer in polymer X and Y is correct? Monomers in X and Y, are they different or they are same? Now you have to find out the boxes. The dark gray box has 2 carboxylic acids on both ends, whereas the empty box has 2 amine groups. Whereas here in Y, if you see the monomers, the dark gray shaded box has one side NH and other side C double bond O. The empty box has one side C double O, the other side NH. That means they are different. Any one of A or B I will go for. Now, it says the linkage in X are different from the linkage Y. No, NHCO is polyamide, amide linkage. CONH is also polyamide linkage. So the linkage in X are the same as linkage in Y. B should be the right answer. Last MCQ, substance Q is tested using paper chromatography. Now, let me tell you one thing which I have noticed in recent papers, that they have now changed the sequence of MCQs. Earlier, they used to have organic chemistry in the end, but now they have experimental technique in the end because your syllabus is having experimental technique in the end. Syllabus covers this chapter in the end. So they have kept this question from experimental technique in the end. Last MCQ from experimental technique. Substance Q is tested using paper chromatography. The resulting chromatogram is shown. Which statement is correct? Q is a pure substance. If you see more than 1 dots or dyes appearing, it's not a pure substance. The RF value of the lower spot is 0.25. How can I find it out? I will have to use the ruler and will take out the solvent front. And then I will take this distance of solute front and will divide it by the solvent. Since I do not have ruler, I cannot give you the answer to this question if it is 0.25 or not. Let's look at the next statement. Q is a mixture of at least 2 different substances. This could be the right answer. Q is a compound of 2 elements. Since we are performing it with the mixture, so compound cannot be separated by the chromatography. D is wrong, A is wrong, C is correct, but B we do not know because I cannot solve it by a ruler. Although I can have an understanding, if my dot is in between here, the value should be 0.5. If my dot is here on 1/4 of the paper, so the value should be 0.25. If my dot is here, it is 0.75. So that means this statement will also be wrong because it's covering 0.75 distance. So the ratio will be 0.75. And so yes, 3C should be the correct answer. Here I'm ending Feb March 0620 paper 2 to MC